The Summoner, currently the most reworked class in Final Fantasy XIV. Class that players can't seem to really give a resounding yes or no on whether it feels good to play or not. Always stuck in some middle ground, feeling like it can be more, but worried that what they can do will make it less. I've heard a lot of opinions on the current state of Summoner in Shadowbringers not being as good as its Storm Brethren. So, here I am today, I'm King Zephyr, and we're going to talk about what they can do to hopefully make Summoner better. Is there a rework that can happen that can be on a more permanent basis with the class to just make it feel like a true Summoner class? Well, I've got a couple ideas, so let's go ahead and knock them out. So, currently, in my opinion, the Summoner feels more like a Beastmaster. I know, sounds weird, that's just how it feels to me, because it has to do with the carbuncles. What you're summoning, to me, doesn't really feel like an Ifrit or a Garuda, but more or less a carbuncle and a Halloween costume. So, my solution, at least the first solution, is to make the class no longer pet-based, but keep around Bahamut and Phoenix as they are the one currently good part of the class. Everyone loves summoning big old Bahamut. It's what I always hear talked about. It's what I love doing as the class. So, but currently, with the state of Bahamut and Phoenix, how do you keep them around without needing the other pets? Well, you would still have your Dreadworm Trance along with, your Dreadworm Aether Meter. So they could just rework it. You wouldn't need a pet, pretty much it. You would just you'd go through your Dreadworm Trance, you'd get your Aether, and then you would just summon Bahamut. And then after that, you'd summon Phoenix. Seems pretty simple. Not much change you got to do there. Next up, because with this you'd be getting rid of the pets, you wouldn't have your pet abilities. I suggest a rework to the current skills to make them more summon themed. To be more in line with how a summoner would fight. So, as an example, your single target skills would be Ifrit themed. Your AoEs, Garuda, your buff utility be Titan themed. I feel like this would make a lot more sense for the summoner class as a whole. Instead of just relying on keeping your dots up, attacking with your eggy pets whenever you have the chance, to build up your further ruin stacks up to 4 to then spend those on Bahamut. The flow just feels off to me. It doesn't feel like it's a consistent flow, at least not for how a summoner would fight. As a summoner, I feel like I should be, using my summons constantly for fighting. That's how a summoner would attack. You attack with your summons. So that's why I suggest, this route. Another route is one that was kind of talked about, that I seen talked about in like a stream that I was in. But it goes along the line of keep all the summons around, but turn them all into demi-summons, kind of like Bahamut. And one of the ideas that I brought up then was to evolve on the Dreadworm Trance ability to use all those summons, so you'd have something similar to a Bard song gauge as you go in between the 3 different songs on Bard. But in this case, you would have Ifrit Trance, you would have Garuda Trance, Titan Trance, and then of course you would still have your Bahamut and Phoenix Trance. These would last like their 15 seconds. You'd go through each one. Something that I brought up to it is maybe there can be like a secondary bar, kind of like with Bard's Apex Arrow, how you build that up through repertoire procs, and then you finally get a big old boom. Something I brought up for this, just kind of an optional thing, doesn't need to be a part of it. I think the trance system is good enough So you're just constantly bouncing between those. But allow the summoner to kind of, take the form of a primal. Kind of like Lady Iceheart in Heavensward did with Shiva. I don't know what form you would take for that. I'm sure that could be debated around or decided upon. I don't really have an opinion on that. It could be anything. It could be Rock to Pasta from Eden, even. Make it like a level 90 skill. If that's something you can do in, like, I don't know, the Endwalker, if they were to rework the class. But I think that'd be something cool. You kind of do that, you build up, and you get like a primal, form for your Warrior of Light, like that you can build up towards. Would give the class it would give a class an identity of being more of a summoner than it currently has. Because as of right now, you got carbuncles and Halloween costumes. That's how I'm putting it, anyways. That's what they seem like to me, because at the end of the day, the Eggies are still carbuncles. You got Titan, you got Ifrit carbuncle, Garuda carbuncle, Titan carbuncle. But they're still just carbuncles. So these are kind of the suggestions that I've come up with. Maybe you guys can have more thoughts. Of course, discuss it in the comments down below if you have any thoughts for this. I can always make an updated video. But I figure, get this out here. Get just an idea of how it can be reworked to be more summon themed. Because as it is right now, you just got little pets that sit alongside you. You kind of tell them what to do. But the only time you feel like a true summoner is when you get that Bahamut out, when you get that Phoenix out. Until then, it just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel like a true summoner class. So, I'm not sure what else they could do for it. Because I know if they didn't change it much from how it currently is, I think something they could do is probably take your pet abilities, to take them off of the GCD, make your pet skills all OGCD. This would help it just kind of feel how it still is, but a little more fluid. So just in case people don't want much of a change to what I'm suggesting, you can still get the same feel as it has now, just make it a little more fluid by keeping the pet abilities OGCD. Maybe emphasize more on swapping and changing your pets out as you battle. Maybe put in like you go from one pet to the other and it recharges one of your pet skills. So that you summon them out, you throw out another pet skill, maybe at a higher level get a passive perk that gives it a % chance to refund 2 charges of pet skills. Just kind of make it random which one you get back when you go into it. So that you got a reason to, keep summoning out your pets and swapping them up. You can do that, and then you can like cycle around to like Titan and get like your shield off of him, because I know a lot of people don't use Titan because he's not DPS. But maybe with this, you still got the chance to go into Titan, get the shield up off of him, and then swap over to a different one. That way you can still keep the DPS up. You're still attacking. You're still, helping out the fight, but in more ways than just, DPS. So that's a third option I can see them doing. Just slight rework on how the pets currently are. That'd probably be the safest option. It wouldn't take too much. Another suggestion I've got is probably finding a way to combine all of the current, summon Bahamut, the Enkindle Bahamut, even the Death Flares. It seems to be just a bit much of a button bloat in that department. Especially once you get, you go to Phoenix, because Phoenix uses Dreadworm Trance to summon out, but Bahamut doesn't. So there's just a bit of button bloat right there. overall, I mean, currently the summoner just, it doesn't feel bad as just like a mage class to play. But I do believe it can be more. It can get a proper identity. Because it just has pets. That's the only identity it has, is it just has pets. That's it. So I think with a rework like this, to where you're more focused on at least using the pets, with like the third one I suggested, or the other two were the first one you get rid of the pets and you just make all of your skills just summon themed, or where you're going through different trances, kind of like a bard with their songs, and you're summoning up demi versions of each one. Of course, they would have to be balanced accordingly, because I know Demi, Bahamut, and Phoenix do dish out a lot of damage when you're in them, so that's why you wouldn't want to be in them all the time. Maybe not make the first three, you know, Titan, Garuda, Ifrit, maybe not make them as strong as that, kind of build up going into like a Bahamut and Phoenix, because they are the big summons. Maybe make those two feel like they have more of an impact to the battle than they currently do. But aside from that, that's about all I can think of on a way to just kind of re-enkindle the experience of Summoner. Maybe make bring more people to it. Fester a little bit of love for the class more than what it has, because I know a lot of people just feel discouraged to play it because it doesn't feel as good as it once did. Still feels okay, but I know there's a big meme with it that it just kind of becomes, you know, it's a new job every expansion, because it gets reworked almost every single one, because Square Enix can't seem to, you know, get it right, you know, get it just right. So maybe some of these ideas are good. Maybe take a little, you know, an idea out of each different suggestion, you know, put it into one big one. You know, they don't have to be exclusive to their different reworks if they were to be chosen. But that's all I've got for this. Let me know what you would like to see done with Summoner in the comments below. I'll see if there's enough, you know, talk about it, enough discourse about maybe making a second video on this, discussing it more off of whatever ideas get discussed. But let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Maybe I'll do more videos like this on how they can do just changes to the other classes. Just kind of give them a bit more of an identity. I know people say that all the tanks kind of feel the same. I kind of feel that too. Aside from their like invulnerability moves, they're more or less, you know, kind of the same. I know in Endwalker they are making a change to the healer classes. You know, you got your 2 pure healers, you're gonna have your 2 shield healers. Hopefully what they do with the rework on Astro doesn't make that too bad, because it's kind of a mix between both. So super excited to see what they do with that. Maybe that'll give me a couple more ideas when we learn more what they're doing with that, on what they could do to other classes. Maybe something with the DPSs, I can make a video on that one. But again, let me know. I've been King Zephyr. Have a good one.